A higher eating culture is an essential part of the new way of life of the future. The details are described in our video Nourishment According to Spiritual Principles. Let us briefly repeat and dig deeper into the most important aspects. A being of spirit does not require material but spiritual food, high thoughts, ideas, and ideals, which grow from the study of holy scriptures and in meditation. Man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of God. My soul looks for spiritual nourishment and spiritual pleasures. You eat only as little as is absolutely necessary to preserve your body as a suitable tool. Why this asceticism? Because even the smallest intake of physical food lowers the vibration of your true non-material being. This is why Agni Yoga advises let us affirm disdain for food. I don't understand that. Surely I won't despise an apple, a cucumber or bread, which ensure my survival. No, of course not. The Master means to say, your eternal individuality wishes as far as possible to overcome, step by step, the animal backward state of the body, which still requires material nourishment. It holds in contempt the palate's desire to indulge in food. It wants to rise to a higher level, where eating more and more loses its importance. In a state of high vibration, you have no appetite. In other words, if you feel a craving for food, raise your vibration, and you will no longer yearn for physical pleasures. Plants reach out toward the light. Only people dream about their stomachs when their spirits should be filled with the grandeur of the highest. There is another outward sign by which you can distinguish a member of the sixth race when you meet him. The new man does not drink alcohol, does not smoke, and does not eat meat or sweets. Is that really so important? Aren't these rather harmless failings of our culture? No, these are actually spirit poisons which dull and extinguish the fieriness of your soul. We are definitely against narcotics which calm and deaden the intellect. How then will the quality of thoughts so needed for future life be developed if we dull it with poison? Sometimes I hear the objection, Giving up alcohol, sweets, cigarettes and meat alone doesn't make me a saint. Just as an elephant does not eat meat either, and yet is not holy. Yes, a fiery being is the one who reveals the divine of his nature only. For this, overcoming the lower animal desires is an indispensable, although only the first and not a sufficient step. Take Master Knecht from Hermann Hesse's glass bead game as a model. The abbot had long since given up his initial attempts to seduce the guest into occasionally drinking wine. People can be, each one for himself, severely moral and thereby achieve a healthy radiation. However, you should not slavishly carry out what other people recommend to you. Sense, experience how your higher self rejects poison. Consult your heart. What does it say at this sight? I don't need this. I don't want that. It gives me no pleasure. It disgusts me. It only hurts me. Even before I became a vegetarian through Agni Yoga, I felt that eating meat was not good for me and reduced consumption drastically. The man of the future gets by with only 2 meals a day. He allocates himself the type and quantity of food before the repast and does not allow himself a second helping later. Your spirit rules your body. It is not the appetite of the body, but the spirit that decides whether, when, which and how much food you consume. For your soul, eating is not a pleasure, but only an annoying necessity. The best thing you have to contribute is your work. May it be dedicated to selfless service to the common good. The man of the future as well has to work like any other human being. He differs, however, from the old man in that he does not place his labor at the disposal of the interests of stagnation, regression or destruction. He cannot live in the unbearable conditions of today's time, and therefore he actively contributes to the construction of a better world. Life is service for evolution. How can we explain to people that they live for the success of evolution? Let us now come to the conclusion of this broadcasting. Your transformation into the new man is not just a private pleasure, but also service. If you climb the next higher evolutionary level, this is at the same time a giant leap for the whole of mankind. Here is a lighthouse that illuminates the darkness, gives people hope, and shows the path to the future. Here is an example that can be imitated. Here is fieriness that sets others on fire. Spiritual ascent is the only way to individual attainment and to attainment of the common good. The process of self-perfection was not regarded as egoistic. Improvement has the general welfare as its goal, and by its nature cannot be a personal acquisition. Many a one complains, "I am unable to find a way to become active in this hostile to the spirit world." Yes, indeed, it were bitter should you really be unable to open up a field of work for your powers and abilities. A frightful emptiness appears when there is no application of one's forces for the common good. Like clouds without rain is a wise man without deeds. For an Agni Yogi, there is a way out. You can always work on the artwork of the man of the future. This service to the common good can be carried out by anyone, anytime, in any place, and under any circumstances. In view of the terrible conditions, the absolute necessity to create a new world clearly comes to light. What do we need for that? First of all, new man. With the old, mortal, selfish ones, we cannot set about building the future. Only communities of new men will create the new world. A new banner requires new people. Therefore, your transformation into a being of spirit is your first, best, and most effective contribution to the progress of humanity as a whole. If you want to awaken all of humanity, then awaken all of yourself. If you want to eliminate the suffering in the world, then eliminate all that is dark and negative in yourself. Truly, the greatest gift you have to give is that of your own self-transformation. The greatest benefit that we can contribute consists in the broadening of consciousness and the improvement and enrichment of our thinking, together with the purification of the heart, in order to strengthen our emanations, and by thus raising our vibrations, we restore the health of all that surrounds us. Change yourself, and you will have done your part in changing the world. Transform into a man of spirit, then help others to transform themselves. Thereby, you will transform the world. How then does a hierarch create on earth? By uplifting all the surroundings. At the end of the exercises we have performed together today, you will be able to proudly show to the world: here is the new man.